It's going. Oh, look at that sky.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what?
What up, girl?
Welcome to the dark sky and the family broadcast. Reporting here from the Vampire Cave.
Right.
We are happy to welcome you here to the family broadcast this evening. We apologize for the lack of ambient lighting, but we are very glad that you are here.
It's the Easter resurrection. Dude, look at that sky.
Right?
Yeah, welcome to the 9 o'clock family. What does it say?
It's Adeline.
Hey, what up, girl? Thanks for joining. It's better.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Happy Easter. How you guys doing? Welcome to the new world that we're all living in. You guys ready to feel it? We're gonna... What did she say?
Green screen. Yeah, our life is a green screen.
Yeah, our life is a green screen. It's about to be even more. What do you guys want to hear about? Because what we think is that you want to hear more about what you really are.
So, how do we begin tonight's Periscope? We have some fun things to speak about.
We do.
The insight tonight is embracing the strange. We look like a freaking, look at us, we look like one of those paintings. Like you know what I mean? You ever seen those paintings with like those insights or those like Van Gogh paintings or like those blurred
like
impressionist
blurred
paintings behind us? I know.
Maybe we should have a straight face on
it. All right, now we're going to start. But this began a long time ago, didn't it? And now we're here to help piece together the story that got us to this point. And everyone's been wondering, why is the history books that I was taught in school feel like an incomplete picture? And might there be more that I was not told about what is going on here? Hello, Demetrius' mom.
What up? Thanks for joining.
So, let's have a seat here. In our little transmission spot.
All right, here we go.
Tell me all the weird things about yourself from when you were little, and we'll exchange and go back and forth. Tonight's about embracing the strange and all the weird things that we did growing up that actually are the hints and the signs of our true power and our true potential that make us different from everyone else. And each one of us has that. So we're going to explore what those are. So, first thing you remember of like feeling different and what that was or how that came across?
Well, I mean, we had traveled as a kid, so I was like that hippie camping kid, and everyone thought it was weird that we liked to be outside, or that like I wore clothes that were more like, you know, hippie and like t-shirt and shorts. I didn't really like care, and so I felt like judged, you know, or told like, oh, why would you wear that, or that's weird, or why do you shop there? And so it's like you feel these insecure feelings of when you're younger of feeling weird, you know, or like it's the kids you play with, like why would you play with that person? It's like those are the things that like made you feel weird,
right?
You know?
I used to hide in trash cans during recess to get attention from people. It was like my little thing of like, it was a dare, but it was also like it felt good. And then while I was doing it, I like imagined myself as one with the trash. Like I was just a poor beggar, like hiding and like collecting what scraps I could to survive. And it was like that was like part of my fantasy in my mind.
You were like the Sesame Street Grouch or whatever that's in the. But you weren't.
I was totally the Grouch. I was totally the Grouch.
I love that.
Yeah.
We were weird too because my parents always made turkey bacon instead of regular bacon. I didn't know what bacon was. So it was weird 'cause I didn't know what
that. Well, kids think that's weird. They like bacon.
Yeah. I used to play like stuffed animals with my best guy friend, and this is when I was like 7, and we created stuffed animals for every person in our class, and we would have these complex scenarios with all of them, and like there were these court trials, right? And they would end up like devolving into like brawls and like weird sexual situations, and we were like 7-year-old kids, so we like didn't know any better, but we would like personify everyone in our class with the stuffed animal. I know, it was ridiculous, but like we were just doing that from when we were little, and we just had these huge imaginations.
That's a good one. I think it was like, we used to play with stickers. Like, I don't know, it was like this big sticker thing, or like everyone collected stickers. And it was like, if you didn't have the cool enough sticker, then it was like, it made you weird. Like, oh, you didn't, like, you weren't like going to the right place to get stickers. So it's like, you go home like ashamed that you don't have any stickers.
Wow.
Yeah, see? Yeah, we love stickers, but it's like, whose sticker is better than your sticker? And if you trade one for two of theirs, or two of mine is for one of yours, and I mean, how did we decipher who was better? But it really inhibited the fact that you thought you were weird or cool or not, whether your stickers were cool or not. Of course they were.
My stickers, not my stickers. It's amazing how like tribal pecking orders are determined by these like status symbols, and
Right.
eventually stickers get traded in exchange for Louis Vuitton purses and Ferraris, but it's still
Right.
stickers.
Right. Or what snack you had in your lunch, you know? Like, I always had like mom made peanut butter crackers, you know, and like other people had like, you know, their like bag of chips or whatever, and I was like, we're not cool.
Like if you got
Right?
if you didn't get Lunchables, you were like
Right, like I didn't
You're
feel
like
like
a
I was cool,
loser.
but then people wanted to trade me for my homemade stickers, which I was like, thank God, I want your granola bar, you know.
right.
But you felt weird because your mom was just like hand making. I'm like, you weren't cool to have like the Lunchable.
And then fast forward, I'm 12 years old. I just realized that our government is corrupt. I started researching all the data on who's running the different seats in the Senate and the House, and who they're affiliated to, and what councils they're on, and like putting together all the pieces. And I'm trying to tell everybody, I'm like, guys, our government is corrupt. They don't work for us. They work for a small group of elite individuals who control the government and most of our major corporations. And everyone laughed at me and was like, dude, you're on crack. Like, you're on one, dude. Like, you're a conspiracy nut. Right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's all about the sticker companies.
Right.
They set up to divide and conquer us from when we were young.
They did. Well, I mean, that was another thing, is like, my parents didn't go to church, right? So they allowed me to go to church with my friends. And so like, I was going to the Mormon church and the Christian church and this church and that church, and I mean, whoever invited me, like sometimes I would go, not all the time, but sometimes. And so I had my opinion about all these different religions, and I just thought that like pretty much they had the same love behind them, and I just didn't really understand why they were separated. And I always had a lot of questions about like why you chose one religion and why I need to go to one church as opposed to another, and like why it made such a difference that everyone was so separated. And everyone would be like, where do you get that from? Like, you're weird. Like, where'd you read that? Why do you believe that? Like, I was weird because I questioned why they were not more similar or joined.
Right? I remember like telling everybody how in my like super Catholic high school, like how like Jesus had a wife named Mary Magdalene and had like children by him, and everyone like was like, dude, like people were so offended. But I'm quite sure, based on the records and the history. You guys know that Mary Magdalene wrote her own gospel, and it tells us such a different story from the gospels of the regular Bible that was edited, of course, quite heavily, I might add,
Right.
by a patriarchal dominant Christian church that put the feminine in a subservient position, that demonized sex and made all people much easier to control, because those who are afraid of going to hell, are more likely to do what you say if you provide them an alternative, a path out of damnation.
Right. So we we just follow this like rewritten book that people like rewrote hundreds of years later, and we're just supposed to be like, yes, this is the way.
Dude, the King James version is, that's I mean, that's when it really got edited a second time. The first time was the Council of Nicaea, right? But yeah, the whole thing has been like massively cropped and edited and photoshopped and redone. And, like,
So
Jesus,
what was the original idea?
Right. And
does anybody even really know?
Right. And Jesus.
So why aren't we weird for following what they've rewritten? Like, why isn't that weird?
Right.
Like, why wouldn't people question like why they rewrote it and why that's not weird? Like, why wouldn't it be more normal to be like, oh, what was the real truth? Like, let's try to find that. Like,
Right.
Why isn't it weird to go to church and follow something that was written way later? Yeah, it's weird.
Yep.
Why is more people not questioning? Why? Come on, people. Hello.
And then why is this like Euro Spaniard Jesus guy put on every single painting, right? Who looks like me, even
Right.
though he was born in the Middle East and looked nothing like a European. Total zombies. Bitten.
Bitten.
Straight bitten.
Don't get bit.
Right. But I was weird in a lot of other ways too. Like
Totally.
once I started to wake up, I saw all the people in my class for like who they had been in past lives, but I couldn't tell them, but I could see like these different faces in them and these different abilities and I was like, "Oh, you're an elf," or like you know, but I couldn't say that, but I knew that, and then I understood people based on this. And then sometimes I would try to tell them, and I would like, "Listen, you're an elf." And then some people would get it, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I probably was." And I remember being very encouraged and actually heartened by the fact that some people could accept an explanation of reality that was outside of the dominant paradigm and
Yeah, it's great.
begin to like, change who they thought they were
Right.
based on the powers of our imagination.
Demetrius' mom, do you keep getting kicked off? What happened? Yeah. Anyways, it's like she keeps logging on. Yeah, sorry.
What is that?
I know. Why does it do that? I'm like, I can't tell whether. we
Yeah,
have
I mean,
service
the
or-
service is good here, like
Yeah.
right here where we are.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your home Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. We were just concerned about that. We were worried about the weirdness going on with your drop zone.
So
So, what was the topic that we did tonight?
weird.
Oh, I did that last night.
The first weird, no, but like the sequence of all the strange things that happened to us
Okay.
that made us who we are now, to have these very radical views
Right.
and to be like doing the things we're doing, right? Like we all got set up for
Okay.
this with our experiences, you know?
I mean, because I was judged for being weird from day one. I mean, I was constantly bullied and told that I was like, didn't have the good enough clothes on, or my hair was weird, or the way I spoke was weird, or whatever, you know. And so it's like I feel like part of the weird part was that I was like constantly comparing myself to other people, worried about what I was doing, or you know, like worried about what they were doing, so I could do something. And it's like I couldn't be myself because I was so worried about being weird. And it's like, really, what does weird even mean? Yes, you could.
Yes, you could.
Dude, do you want to do a scope? Dude,
We're totally
we'll give
gonna
you our own time.
Yeah, we totally want to hear you talk about this
Yeah,
too.
like it's all about it. And it's like, what is weird? Like that's another question. It's like, what is weird, and who decides it's weird? And is weird even weird? I'm weird. Are you weird? Like, let's all be weird together. Like, who even said that word even means anything that's bad or worried about? Like, that's what's funny about it. And here's my
Oh look,
friend.
there's your little spider.
Look, I have a friend.
Look at this.
There's a spider. Look, it's climbing right up in front of us. Look, it's right there.
Dun, dun.
See how weird? We have a spider. Is that weird or is that cool?
But this is one of her people.
A Russell, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We can talk about that. Yeah, of course we have a spider. That's what I come from, right? Andrea's Web, Center of Creation. Hi. We talk about weird. That's what I'm descended from, or one of the things.
If you've ever seen someone's true form in the moonlight, in a heightened state of awareness, you take a look at this one. You might see something very, very different from a human.
Yes. Share. What would you like to know?
You take a look at me when you're in that heightened state, you might see something very different. You might see 6 wings fanning out behind me, taking up a ton of space. We lost you last Friday? Why would I be
you
lost
do
last
then?
Friday? Did I do something last Friday?
You did your scope on Friday.
Oh, I did my scope. That's right. We were doing the full moon at the time. And then I headed off into the beach. Yeah, that was intense.
Oh yeah, he was like on one that night.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
my phone died right as like I was finishing. And yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I went through the experience probably more than anybody did, which was the whole point.
Well, and sometimes that happens when we get on here. Yeah, it was super fun. It's like we actually go into channeling, and it's like we really are authentic about what we're talking about and what we're feeling, and it's like we want to let you know like what you're doing when you do that. We want to kind of help with that and showing what we're going through. And so yeah, sometimes we get some major experiences while we're on here. Whether you guys are aware of that or not, I think.
Yeah.
If that's our weird.
It's totally our weird. But then once you create, here's the power of weird, right? When you're weird, you create your own reality bubble. And in magic, they talk about strengthening the power of your bubble, of your own reality.
Oh, because he came on and then came back off. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like logged on and logged off.
Well, like later, imagine like after the scope is over. But the power of the weird is that you create your own reality bubble. And like, there's something in Gnosticism called, they call it creating the strategic enclosure, but basically what it's saying is you got to create your bubble. And your bubble and being weird and accepting weirdness is to free yourself from consensus reality, to see things the way you are meant to see them, because you're meant to see them differently from everyone else. You have a unique vision and a unique sight that will pick up the details and observations about people's feelings and character that are different from anyone else's sight, right? You have a unique insight and a unique vision that can notice certain things. And like, our job as creators and as artists and as people who are shaping the world is to give the world what we see, what we really see, not what we're told to see. But like, I walk into rooms and I see people like in their whatever they're going through. Like, I look into people and I can see them, and it's hard to see deeply with like that and like know all that when you're just trying to get a hamburger and you look in the eyes of the person behind the counter and you can see like she's like questioning herself, or that she's going through some relationship issues, or that she's like sad or whatever. And then it's just a matter of actually like responding to that. What up, Kawa?
What up? Thanks for joining.
So, but that's the power of it, is like ordering that burger while also looking at her in the eyes or looking at him in the eyes and being like saying, I try and say something that touches them in some way that raise the vibration. So anytime you're out there like doing some random thing, like look deeply into people and you'll begin to see with your second sight like who they are and what they're really like, what's really going on with them.
Dude, he should. That would be awesome. Yeah, and I mean, getting on there and being aware of that, like that's part of the weird, and it's like taking that on and letting it be okay. Like, hey, I know something right now and I'm gonna be that. You know, like, who are we to hide anymore? And like, who are we to worry about what other people think about us? And it's like what he was just saying about bringing that vibration to someone. If you notice what they're going through, if you can just say one thing to someone to twist their reality, it's like what we call seeding. It's like we're seeding society with this love and this caring to bring their vibration to a higher level.
Yeah. And he will. He will. It's just, you take a lot of flack for it until you embrace it.
Dude, you said he was 17. You should tell him to join spear.com.
Yeah. Spear might be perfect.
Yeah.
It's a good timing for 17, 18-year-olds.
Perfect age.
But check out joinspear.com and see if he finds that interesting. If he likes video games or any of that.
Hey, Rossell, you want to type that in for us?
Spear. S-P-E-A-R. Yeah. Like a spear that you carry.
Yeah, Spear.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Joinspear.com.
Rossell, are you still on there? Will you type it for us? If she is, maybe she'll type it for us.
Yeah.
There she goes.
Nice.
Perfect. Thanks, girl.
With no space.
Oh, yeah, with no space.
Joinpair.com.
Kind of.
But it's true. Like, so like when you're out there and you're talking to people, you're dropping the seeds. That's perfect. Yeah, he'll love it. You're dropping seeds on people with the ideas and the memes that will allow them to like raise their vibration and like love themselves more and forgive themselves and like open up to what's going on around them. Like what I like to do sometimes is I'll go into a place and I'll notice the dynamic. Like, I'll quickly analyze the dynamic between the workers behind the bar or the cashier, and I'll feel the vibration of the day. I'll feel like, oh, everyone's anxious. And I'll just like make a scene. I'll be like, what up, Riggs? I'll make a scene. I'll be like, everybody in here, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath right now. I'm not even kidding. I do this. And everyone starts laughing, and like some people are like angry that I'm saying it, but some people think it's hilarious, but it moves the energy.
Totally.
And then I get my food and I go.
Totally.
But we've like dropped a seed on those people for their everyday day to change a little bit.
Totally. I used to wait tables. Kind of remind me. I would like drop a tray or water. Oh, awesome. And it was like, instead of being like, crap, I dropped something, like, is everybody okay? Like, it's like, I would clap. Like, yeah, I just want to make sure everyone's still awake. Is everyone awake? Like, I would get everyone to, like, clap with me, like, yay, we dropped something. Like, you know, and then it, like, becomes, like, a show and something fun instead of, like, being worried about, like, oh, I made a mess.
Right?
Yeah.
People have a herd psychology. So, like, they follow along with what you give them the instructions to do. It's amazing. It's amazing how true this is, like social proof and some of these things. Like, just to give you an example, we did an experiment yesterday, and we were at a booth at a swap meet, and my buddy was signing up drivers for Uber. And first, I just stood behind the booth with him, and like hardly anybody came over to ask. But then I moved in front of the booth, and I started speaking to him about Uber and making positive comments about, yeah, this looks like a great idea. And all of a sudden, all these people walking by just like they all just come over and start sitting at the booth with us, listening into our conversation, because nobody wants to start the conversation, but people want to listen. People want to like be in the zone where things are happening. And so like, I guess you can apply this to anything in your life, right? Like if you're trying to influence people, if you're trying to like create a change, like you just have to get like 2 people to be down, and then the third and the fourth will be easy.
Yeah, there's this video on YouTube. It's great. It's like this guy is like dancing out in the middle of a field, and there's like music going on, and he's like getting it. He's dancing. He's all by himself, and he's out there for a while. And then one guy just randomly decides to join him, right? So now there's 2 guys dancing, and then one other person was like, oh wait. So then before you know it, like people are running to get into this crowd, and they're like, dude, what's going on over there? I gotta get there. And like, really, it was just one guy that decided to dance. And after 1 and 2 and 3, it created this huge thing that happened where the entire crowd was dancing over one guy. They thought it was something big, but really it was just one person to start the party.
And that guy, right? Isn't that awesome? And that
Yeah,
guy,
did you? Yeah, it was a great video.
And that guy was considered weird.
Right.
So let me tell you, weird people lead the world into new innovations and new revolutions.
Right.
So if you're not willing to be weird, you can't lead the world into the new things that are coming.
Right.
And all of you who are here following us in the family, I believe, are pioneers of consciousness who are breaking ground for the beautiful, amazing world that we're all creating together. That just feels like a good ending right there. I'm just saying, like that was just felt like
drop the mic, walk out.
Drop the mic, walk out. All right, we love you guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining our weird. Stay tuned. 9 p.m. every night. Family.link. Love to see you here. See you tomorrow night for the dragon.